Chelsea versus Leicester City. We need to talk about a few key points in this match. Now, this all being said, we have to understand that Enzo Maresca may need to tinker with our midfield with Caicedo. Now, if you do not know, Caicedo right now is sitting on 9 yellow cards, and because of that, if he picks up one more, he misses the next two matches, which happen to be Arsenal and Tottenham. Therefore, again, this could be a huge difference for Chelsea against Leicester City. Now, Leicester City are in relegation. They've been in relegation the entire season, along with the other three teams that came up, Ipswich, and along with Southampton, who are the bottom of the barrel. We just beat them 4-0. I think we can easily do the same to Leicester City because they have not been doing anything these last couple of matches. After Ruud van Nistelrooy has come in, yes, they had the manager bounce for maybe 1 or 2 games, but since then, they have done nothing. And Chelsea should be able to come out and beat them, whether Caicedo is in the midfield or not. And I will talk about the tactics that we can easily utilize in this match to beat them because it makes more sense that we use Caicedo in the Arsenal match because yes, I think we can also beat Arsenal as well because they are lacking a striker right now. Without Kai Havertz, which is kind of ironic, they are toothless. They have no one that is pushing the defenses, and therefore that is a game that is a must win and a game that we can easily win to if we control that entire midfield. And like I said, we'll have another video on that, but it makes more sense to have Caicedo for that match. Now, if he picks up a yellow card in that match, he then still misses the Tottenham game, he misses the Brentford game. That's a whole different story, but it makes sense to have him for that Arsenal match because as we all know, he is a beating heart in that midfield. And yes, it will be a big takeaway in that Leicester game. But like I said, it makes more sense not to utilize him. And if we do utilize him, maybe you can bring him late into the game. But again, if he gets a silly yellow card, even in like the first minute or even the last minute, again, he's missing those games. So let's talk about what Enzo Maresca should do in this match. Now, to me, it makes most sense to do a back 5 again. And yes, I understand we lost with a back 5 to Aston Villa, but it was a very big error that happened with Jorgensen, and I also think we had plenty of chances that we did not convert. Had we done that, we would have gotten all 3 points off that match, and the big thing is we scored fairly early in the match, and we were very direct that came off that, and there's one big takeaway, which we will address in just a bit, that made a huge difference in our last match too, compared to Aston Villa. So let's first look at the back 5. Now again, having our 3 CBs, I think Reece James being one of them, makes most sense with Colwell and probably Tosin. I don't know if Chalobah is actually fully fit yet as I'm making this video, so I'm not going to say he should start, but if he is fully fit, he could probably get in that role as well. But it makes sense then to do Malo Gusto and Cucurella as our wing backs because what we've seen with Cucurella is how he moves up into the midfield. And because of this, he can easily move into that central role with, again, Enzo Fernandez playing that other position, and therefore, again, Enzo Fernandez can actually push up. Cucurella can play that Caicedo position, and if not, they can also alternate a little bit. But those 2 players themselves can play the defensive midfield role together. And like I said, Leicester City doesn't have really the capabilities to control the midfield anyways. Yes, they have a few players, but Harry Winks, I'm not a guy I'm really scared of, and there's a few other guys that maybe could do a little bit of damage, but overall, Chelsea have the quality to, again, beat this team anywhere on the pitch. It doesn't have to be even on the right side, left side, down the middle, up front. We have quality and depth everywhere that we should not have to worry about Leicester City. Now, again, the attacking third, we also have quality players in this position. So again, I think it makes sense that Jadon Sancho and Nkunku play out on the wings. Obviously, Cole Palmer in that 10 position, but Neto being that number 9, which was a huge key difference from our game against Aston Villa and our game against Southampton because of having Neto push up, he's actually pushing those defenders back. He's creating this big space where, again, pockets of space are created where Nkunku can go into that, Cole Palmer can go that, Jadon Sancho can find space, even Enzo Fernandez, if he's pushing up or Cucurella is pushing up, there's plenty of areas now for those pockets of space for players to drift in, receive the ball, find other players, ping it to them, and again, break down the defense very quickly because with the pace that we have with these players, how quickly they move the ball, it makes total sense for us to do something along the lines of having Pedro Neto as our number 9. Yes, obviously, if Nico Jackson was fully fit, he would be the guy playing that position because he is, again, running and breaking those lines as well. But Neto does that job as well, and we've seen him score this last match against Southampton. And yes, I understand, it was Southampton. Their defense is very shaky at best. But like I said, Leicester City isn't much different than Southampton, and therefore, again, making similar things, but again, taking out Caicedo, we should be doing these things because this, again, will save him for our match against Arsenal. And yes, it will still give us the capability of having a defensive wall because if, again, Leicester have anything that come at us, having 5 guys defending, they should not find the back net. And like I said, if we can find the back net quickly, like we get it against Aston Villa, we then control and dominate the pitch, because as we again control and possess the ball moving around, they have to come out of their shell. And as that happens again, there's going to be these different spaces that Cole Palmer can hopefully find the back of the net. He should have it against Southampton, or again, and Kuko, who now might be finding his way at Chelsea finally. Yes, he didn't have much time before this, but with all the injuries, he's now stepping up and doing what he should be doing. These guys are now oozing and doing so much to again show their worth and scoring goals. And like I said, it makes sense. This is a must-win for Chelsea to get all 3 points, to keep fighting for top 4. And like I said, overall, Enzo Maresca, if he does take Caicedo out, it makes total sense, because like I said, we beat Leicester City without Caicedo. We use him to then play Arsenal. We beat them for 3 points as well, and we are slowly moving even closer up into the top 3 positions. And like I said, it's very tight up there right now. We need to look at each and every match, but we also have to understand which players we have to be able to utilize in these matches, because if we do not have Caicedo for Arsenal, for Tottenham, those are going to be very, very difficult matches because of how good their midfield is and how defensively they are. We need to have a guy like Caicedo in that midfield to help us out. So I do want to know, what do you guys think? Do you think Enzo Maresca should stick with Caicedo in the Leicester match, or should he move him to the Arsenal match or the Tottenham match? Comment down below, like this video if you do. I will see you in the next video.